Welcome to Journey Home with Jeana. I am going to go over chapter 5, which is I actually am showing you my system. This is what I'm looking at when I'm talking to you. This is what I'm filling out. So I'm going to just go through a quick situation with you. It's not quick. I'm hoping to take the time that I need to make sure you understand. There's a couple variables that you'll need. There's Excel spreadsheets you can do this on. You can Google Docs, Google calculators, mortgage calculators, DTI calculators. But the thing I just want you to be aware of is only truly some of the components that go into making up the numbers so that you're not misled. So I'm going to do this as fast as I can. For this situation, we're going to go first-time home buyer, $500,000. I'm going to be in California. We're going to put down 3%, giving us a 97% loan to value. We go off of LTV, loan to value, another acronym. And I'm going to go ahead and change this rate to 6.5 because we're going to go with a first-time home buyer, home ready, home possible kind of program. Gives you low mortgage insurance on very little down. The mortgage insurance is determined basically by the program and by how much money you're putting down. So we're going to do that. We're going to do 360 months, which is 30-year fixed. And then we're going to go here. This is essentially your principal and interest payment would be about this. We're going to change your homeowner's insurance to a percentage of 0.20. And I'm going to change your taxes because you're in California. Let's change this to 1.25. 1.25. It's not working. Okay, 1.25%. And then we do have mortgage insurance, and that's calculated. And let's do, I'm just going to put 0.55 here as a percentage. We can go over that in more detail on another time, or when we're doing your loan app. So, and then we did say this was a condo, right? So I'm going to have an HOA. I'm going to just put HOA of $200 a month. So effectively, if you're buying you're purchasing a home for $500,000, you're only putting $15,000 down. Remember, this can be gift money, and your effective base loan amount will be $485,000. So this is essentially your mortgage payment. So these are the things I want you to be aware of. I've got you at a 6.5% rate. I don't know what the rates are on this loan today. Actually, I don't. I have you at, looks like I have you calculated at 6.375. So we'll just stay there. This is your principal and interest payment. This is your homeowner's insurance. I have a great broker. I recommend you work with a broker. Obviously, AAA, Farmers, all these companies are just as good. However, I really think it's in your best interest to look for a broker like me because they farm it out to multiple people. And I have a really great broker, Sean, that can help you if you have any interest in talking with him. And then our property taxes in California, we always just use 1.25. Now, remember, there's Mello-Roos, there's newer communities. If you're looking at a new construction, we might hit some Mello-Roos. It's basically money they give back to the community for building the streets and stuff like that. It's not a tax, but it's essentially treated like one. A lot of towns, a lot of counties, especially if it's an older home, those tax rates can be much lower. For instance, in Bullhead City in Arizona, where we have a branch, the effective tax rate we always put as 0.55. It's actually sometimes lower. So California is very expensive in taxes. Texas is more. We're going to use 1.25. I expect if you're in California, do the same. We've got the mortgage insurance at 0.55. That's a variable. That's a different number, but I'm just going to use that for now. And so your total payment is $4,091.98. It's amortized over 30 years. And this is a calculation. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And we're going to move on to the next thing. Because we talked about this in debt to income, right? So we're going to go to debt to income, and sorry, it's real. This is live. I was going to do a stagnant kind of calculation for you, but I thought it'd be just better for us just to do it. Oh yeah, it's a first-time home buyer program. That's why it's saying that. Okay, so this is my dummy file. This is his employment or her employment. Her monthly income. Ooh, see, here's our debt to income. This person's not making enough money for that payment, right? So we're gonna change this. I'm gonna say, this person's got a real job. They've graduated. They're making $11,000 a month in income, and we're gonna put that in there. Aha! Look at the DTI I just adjusted. $11,000 is quite a bit of money. That's probably unrealistic, but it could be, you're a young professional. $500,000, $500,000 purchase. So you're working and you have income. I'm going to leave it at $11,000, and then we've got some liability. On this one, we've got an installment payment of $410. I'm going to leave that. You probably have some sort of car payment. And I'm going to add a liability of, let's see, see all the options we have, right? We could do a revolving, which would be like a credit card. And let's see, I'm going to do a revolving balance of $25,000 and a payment of $65,000. Okay, so that's reasonable and fair. And so now your DTI has changed a little bit, but this is really good DTI, looking good. All right, so we talked about DTI. Your DTI is essentially this. Your front end is going to be your monthly payment, like your installment payment, your revolving, your car and your credit card is your front end. Your back end is those plus the mortgage payment we talked about. Okay, so that goes there. And then I want to go to our fees. So this is kind of fast, but this is what we do. So in this one, this is my fee worksheet. You'll get a copy of this. Here's our mandatory fees. Our company has a doc prep fee that goes to funding for docs, and that goes to them. I have a processor. This is her fee. And then we have an mandatory underwriting fee that the company requires. On this loan, I'm not charging any points. This is just a par rate. They're just getting that loan, and there's no points being charged for this loan. The appraisal we're going to say is $750 because it's a condo. And here's the fees, right? Credit report, flood cert. These are baked in fees. And then we've got our other services. This is title fees. Title and escrow makes up most of your closing costs, believe it or not. And recording fees, your prepaid. Remember, we talked about 12 months hazard insurance. It's going to be almost $1,000 upfront you're paying in escrow. And then we have prepaid interest of 18 days. This one says it's going to close in June. Our estimated closing date was June 12th, which is approximately a month from now, something like that. So remember on our previous chapter, we did talk about property taxes. We've got 3 months now in California, so they're going to collect that money in escrow upfront with your closing costs. So your total cash to close, you're bringing in the $15,000 for your down payment. Your total cash to close with your escrow and title fees and insurance and prepaids and all that stuff is estimated $29,766.89. So that kind of gives you a real good understanding of what you're looking at. I did it really fast, and of course we could talk about this a little bit more if you call me and want to go over this in more detail, but essentially that's what it looks like. It's not rocket science. It's actually very simple math. We can do it, like I said, on an Excel spreadsheet or on Google Docs has it, Google, anything. The key factor is knowing your tax rate, making sure you have an MI in there if you're putting less than 20% down, and your insurance. So happy hunting. And you can always go to my website, ZaroliTeamLoans.com, and learn more about me and my team.